August 1942, a single convoy, 14 merchant ships, escorted by 64 warships, aircraft carriers, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, 24,000 lives at sea. Its name, Operation Pedestal, gamble of the war. But on the very first day, a German U-boat strikes. An aircraft carrier explodes. HMS Eagle sinks. More than 200 men are lost in minutes. Now there is no turning back. The convoy will be hunted from the air, from beneath the sea, by torpedoes, dive bombers, deception, even by an unmanned aircraft turned into a flying bomb. This was not harassment. This was annihilation. A British destroyer vanished behind a curtain of spray as a bomb detonated alongside. A carrier twisted hard to port, flight deck awash, aircraft sliding toward the edge. Somewhere in the chaos, a tanker burned. And at the center of it all, a convoy kept moving. Because turning back meant death, and stopping meant something worse. World War II hangs on a knife's edge, and in North Africa, Field Marshal Rommel was on the move. If he manages to take the Suez Canal, Britain is cut off from the Middle East. But one small island stands in the way: Malta. From this battered rock in the Mediterranean, British aircraft and submarines are strangling Axis supply lines. By August 1942, it has become the most bombed place on Earth. Fuel and ammunitions are nearly exhausted. 3 weeks left, at most. If Malta falls, the Mediterranean is lost. Britain makes its move, and Operation Pedestal is launched. Within minutes of HMS Eagle sinking, her fate was transmitted across the Mediterranean. Italian and German commanders now knew the convoy was real, and it was not turning back. Reconnaissance aircraft orbited just beyond gun range. Submarines slid into new positions. On airfields across Sicily and Sardinia, engines began to turn. Gun crews checked ammunition feeds again. Fighters were kept on deck, engines warm. Radar operators leaned forward, eyes locked to glowing screens. Waiting. They did not wait long. Radar operators called out fast-moving contacts. Ju-88s, German medium bombers approaching from the east, using the afternoon sun behind them. Fleet Air Arm fighters launched immediately. Sea Hurricanes, Fulmars, Martlets, they clawed for altitude. Vapor trails crossed, aircraft scattered into climbing spirals. Contrails tangled like barbed wire. The sky exploded into motion. Tracers stitched the air. Cannon shells flashed. Several bombers were destroyed. Others broke formation. Bombs fell wide, but some kept coming. They always did. 5 Ju-88s selected HMS Victorious. They dove. Flak erupted. Black bursts filled the sky. Victorious turned violently, hard to port, then back to starboard. Bombs fell. They straddled her. Columns of water slammed across her deck, but none struck home. Victorious survived. This time, as the first attackers withdrew, radar screens lit again. 26 aircraft, He-100s and 11s, Ju-88s, escorted by fighters. Fleet Air Arm met them head-on. 2 bombers fell in flames. The Germans lost their nerve, jettisoned their bombs far away from convoy, and ran away. Force F survived, but every man aboard understood this was still only the beginning. As darkness settled, the air attacks faded. Pilots returned. AA gunners slumped beside their guns. Some tried to sleep, others couldn't, because night brought a different terror. Submarines. Just after midnight, HMS Wolverine detected a surface contact, an Italian submarine. She did not fire. She accelerated and rammed. Steel screamed. The impact shuddered through Wolverine's hull. Her bow sliced through the submarine's pressure hull. The Italian boat broke in two and vanished almost instantly. Wolverine limped away, damaged but alive. The sea had claimed another hunter.
The Luftwaffe will operate with no other thought in mind than the destruction of the British convoy.
Dawn revealed a fleet still intact, but now the Axis were assembling something bigger, something coordinated, something overwhelming. Radar contacts appeared. 10 aircraft, then 20, then more. Ju-88s, Italian torpedo bombers. Fighters launched again. Sea hurricanes slashed into the attackers. 3 bombers were destroyed almost immediately. Others scattered. 6 broke through. They dropped. They missed. Again. Force F lived. Even as bombers withdrew, sonar contacts appeared. Italian submarines, German submarines. Destroyers peeled away to hunt. Depth charges rolled into the sea. Explosions thundered beneath the surface, but the contacts kept multiplying. The convoy was now being attacked from above and below. By late morning, the attacks paused. Men slumped against bulkheads. Some ate, some slept, some stared at the sea. Vice Admiral Siffret knew what this meant. The Axis were regrouping, refueling, rearming. Just before noon, radar operators spoke again. Their voices were different, sharper, urgent. 85 aircraft, then more, over 100, coming from multiple directions. German, Italian, bombers, fighters, torpedo planes. It looked less like an attack and more like a moving weather system. Every available British fighter was launched. They formed a thin, fragile screen miles ahead of the convoy. SM-79 Onnes appeared at wave-top height. Flak erupted. 2 were shot down. The rest pressed on. Torpedoes splashed into the sea. White wakes streaked toward the merchant columns. Torpedoes ran toward HMS Rodney. Explosions detonated incoming torpedoes. Others were forced off course. Rodney lived. 32 Ju-88s punched through the fighter screen. They entered the flak corridor. Bombs fell. Water spouts erupted across the convoy. Merchantman Dukalon was hit. She lost power. She began to flood. She fell behind. The convoy was fragmenting. 2 aircraft approached HMS Victorious. They looked like friendly fighters. They joined the landing pattern. Then, they attacked. Italian Special Operations aircraft. Painted to resemble British fighters, they dropped their bombs. By sheer luck, both bounced off the flight deck and into the sea. Victorious lived again. A lone Italian bomber approached HMS Indomitable. Its pilot bailed out. The aircraft kept flying, remotely guided. A flying bomb. It malfunctioned and flew harmlessly inland, a weapon from the future, arriving too soon. The air battle continued throughout the day, waves after waves of attacks. Ju-87 dive bombers came straight down. 2 bombs punched through Indomitable's armored flight deck. 1 detonated among aviation fuel. Fires erupted. The second tore open her landing area. She was not sinking, but she was finished. Her aircraft could no longer land. An Italian torpedo found its mark. HMS. Forsyth's stern vanished in an instant. Men were thrown into the sea. She began to sink. When the smoke cleared, HMS Indomitable, crippled. HMS Forsyth, dying. Merchantmen, damaged. The convoy had survived the largest air attack yet, but it was bleeding badly. Vice Admiral Siffret faced reality. His carriers were nearly gone. His fighters were exhausted. The most dangerous waters still lay ahead. He made the hardest decision of the operation. The battleships would turn back. Force F would withdraw. The convoy would continue without them. As the great warships turned west, something was already waiting. Silent, patient, invisible. Italian submarine Oxum. The hunt continues. Malta has 3 weeks left.
Wind speaks low, a shadow sleep in the cradle of the hill so deep. A story whispers through the stones. Oh, the highlands call my name through the mist, through Will you stand where the ancients stood? Feel the heart beat in